I am back on the computer and I am going to continue working on the Men's Roundup website. And I just want to show you a little bit about how this thing is set up now so that you can see why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the current website is a one-page site. What I want to do is copy all of it over into a new site. And so the trick is that there's actually a complete page that's English. So this is the big page. It's got all the content on it right here. And then there's also a Spanish version. So one of the guys on the board speaks Spanish fluently, and so he provided all of the content for the Spanish version of the page here. So everything's written in Spanish. And there's a lot of this content like in here that stays the same year after year after year. And so rather than rewriting and recreating all that content, because there's quite a bit, I am going to just basically make a duplicate of this site in WordPress. First of all, this is the back end of WordPress again on the right-hand side. And in here I should have no pages because I didn't create any yet. Yeah, so I have no site, no pages. Oh yeah, thanks for installing in the Hello theme. So I need to install the plugins. So let's go to the plugins area here and see what we got. And installed plugins, we have Bluehost, Creative Mail by Constant Contact, which I probably won't use, so I'm going to deactivate that. Hello Dolly, that's kind of like Hello World, but it's their version. I'm going to just kill that off too, because we don't need it. Goodbye. And then we're going to leave Jetpack on. Opt-in Monster, I'm probably going to deactivate as well because I don't need it on this site. Thank you. So Creative Mail, yep, goodbye. So I'm just this is all stuff that gets pre-installed by Bluehost. So Google Analytics, I'm going to leave on there, and I'm going to eventually hook it up to our analytics account. And Jetpack I'm going to leave on there because there's just a lot of neat stuff that Jetpack builds into WordPress to make it a little bit more robust. And Opt-in Monster, I deactivated it. Now I'm going to delete it. And WP Forms, for now I'm going to leave it on. I may eventually delete it. So then we need to add some new ones. So let's add, this is Elementor. Of course, we're going to need to install that or we can't use Elementor. So it's going to unpack the package, install the package, and it's successfully installed the package, and now I'm going to activate the package. So it's going to activate the plugin. Take just a second. And then it's going to try to give me this warm-up page, which I don't need because I've done it. So we're going to leave that where it is. And we're going to go back to the plugins. I like to install all of my plugins before I get anything else going because sometimes these plugins will break pages, and if there's no pages and no content to break, then it doesn't break anything because there's nothing to break, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go to elementor.com where I have my Pro subscription. I'm going to download the latest package of Elementor Pro because I don't have that currently. Is it this? Downloads Elementor Pro Plus. Let's download the latest version, show in folder. That's my Spaceship and Elite Dangerous. Let's do this. Let's go to downloads. That's my old downloads. Let's go to my new downloads. There it is. Just toss it on the desktop. So that way it's easy to find when I'm back in the browser. So then we will go here and add new. And when you add new, one of the options at the top above all this other junk is upload plugin. We're going to go ahead and upload and choose the file from my desktop, Elementor Pro 3.1.1, and install now, which it is now installing. It's actually uploading it. It's not a huge package. Go ahead and unpack the package, installing the package. It's been successfully installed, and now I'm going to activate it. And when you activate the Pro version, assuming that you've actually got a Pro account, it's going to then connect it. So see this connect and activate? So I'm going to connect and activate it. And that is then going to activate it on my account. So you can only, with my account that I have right now, I can only have 3 websites installed. So fortunately, I have a license for 3, which works out perfectly for me because I only really needed 2. So now I have a 3rd. So when I refresh this, you're going to see mensroundup.com as well. It's not mensroundup.com because I'm using that default domain right now. But as soon as I do a domain transfer to that, then I'll reactivate it and it'll be all good. But for now, it's all on there. And so from there, let's see. Let me see if there's anything else that I need to install in the plugins area. I'm pretty sure there's a few others I want to install. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to not do that. That's been successfully activated. For now, there's a couple other plugins that I want. So one of them is called Smooth Scroll. And I really like this plugin because it gives this really nice smooth mouse scroll effect. So this has been installed 300 or 30,000 plus times, so it's valid. So one of the things you want to look at when you're searching for random, there's a lot of free stuff available here. You want to look for stuff that has a high rating and that has a high number of installs, because people that are flying by night 700 plus, that means they probably are not as well built. I mean, that's just the bottom line. If it's been installed 30,000 times, the company's probably up to speed. So that's been installed and activated. And I think, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want on here. Well, I can always add it later. So let's start with pages. So I'm going to start by going to all pages here. It gives you a sample and a privacy policy. I don't need either of these pages, so I'm going to just chuck these in the trash. If you're starting brand new and you don't know anything, then maybe a good strategy to have something, but I don't need that, so I'm going to skip that little foray. So WordPress is now kind of got a Genesis block editor built into it, which is pretty cool. It's almost like it's like some of the themes used to have this kind of thing built into it, where you can like type it. It's almost like a WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get style, a little bit like Elementor is going to do, but just not remotely to the same level. So the first thing you need to do whenever you create a new page is add a title. And this is actually going to affect the name in the post title as well. And I'll show you how to change that, because to begin with, it's going to be like post title 1256.php. Whatever. It's going to be a bunch of gobbledygook. But there's a nice way to make it real easy to remember. And so to start with, we're going to do home, right? That's the main page. And then this is like you can create new blocks. That's kind of how this works. So see that right there? But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do those extra things. So we're going to click on advanced right here. And, oh, excuse me. I need to hit edit with Elementor before I go any further. So I'm going to hit edit with Elementor. And then it's going to load Elementor right there. It's thinking about it. Dun, 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 dun. Elementor home. Okay, so this is Elementor, as I've already shown you in the previous video. And it's got kind of some basic stuff, but I need to style this site. And so I'm going to need to create a header and a footer, like a common header and footer that's going to be common for the site. So right now the header literally just has the word roundup with this huge nav button. I am not going to do that again. I'm going to actually have a logo in the upper left, because that's kind of web standard and this is not, and it's a little bit, from a UI standpoint, it's not ideal. And then the footer is fine, because we don't really want to have like address and phone number readily apparent, because we don't really want people calling the CB office or the Camp Tadmor office, I mean, ideally. So I'm going to just put social in the footer along with the copyright, just like I have now, and that's fine. But in essence, what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a common header, common footer, and then we're going to start building out the page with the various elements. And we're probably going to start with like a masthead. So I'm going to go to blocks, and I'm going to go to hero, and I'm probably going to use something like, maybe something like this, where we can gather like a call to action sort of thing. Maybe not that exact one, because I don't really want an email. Let's see here. So these are, oh, that's all the categories. It jumped me out. Okay, so that's, maybe I'll just do, like, I might just use this one actually. Maybe I'll use this one right here. That's a good one. Let's insert it. So I'll insert it in the page. And this thing is going to default with whatever copy, with whatever text is in here. So this says meet right click. Now you can access all editing actions using right click. Okay, thank you. I don't want to see that again. So this stuff here, you can see I'm not like, it's not allowing me to click on it. And that's because it's rotating from this list of text over here. So I'm probably not going to use a rotating head style. I'm probably just going to do, probably not going to do any of that. I might change this entire type of style here. This whole block might change. But I'm going to use this kind of basic look here. It's the content width that's currently boxed, which is, the content is this dotted line area, not the whole thing. Obviously the whole thing is full width, but this is boxed. Now if I change it to full width, you'll see the text goes all the way to the edge of the page. We don't want that. So we're going to stay with boxed. The columns, there are currently no columns showing up, but if there were columns, this no gap would say that they're touching each other. And then this min height is based on the height of this object here, this space. So fit to screen is gonna make it fit to the whole screen, like if I had this perfectly aligned in there. And you can see the smooth scroll is already active because I'm scrolling this and it's rolling nice and smooth. But we're gonna have this change to min height. I do like min height, and I like to use viewport height, or VH. So it's currently set to 96% of the viewport height. So if I change it to 100, you're gonna see it fill the whole screen. And I'm gonna set it to probably about 75 to start. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm gonna have a nav up here. I wanna be able to see the logo and such, and I also wanna be able to see the call to action row, or at least the next part, because that way you know you need to scroll down. And unless you want to put down arrows on it or somehow to make it real obvious, because some of the people that are going to use this website are not really web friendly. And some of the guys that go to this event are like 90 years old and they don't understand how the internet works. And so we want to make this really user friendly for them so that they're not confused about how to navigate the website. So the column position is middle, so see how it's all centered here. And we're going to leave all that the same. So we're going to say good. I'm going to just publish that for now. I don't have any content to put in here just yet. So style, that is like the background type. I can change the photo, which I'm obviously going to do, and align and all that other stuff. But before we go into all this, I really need to set up that navigation. So this is the home page, and then I'm going to go back. I'm going to just go all the way back to the dashboard and way back to the dashboard. And I'm going to create another page, and this is going to be called Espanol. If I can copy this, it'd be good. And I'm going to add a new page called that, except I'm going to capitalize it and ideally not put a hashtag in there. And when you click that edit with Elementor, it creates kind of a tag in the system that shows that this page is an Elementor page, and I'll show you that in just a second. So let's go back to the dashboard in a moment as it thinks about it. Maybe click it again. Okay, let's go back in here. Bleak. So now it says Elementor. So Home Elementor, Espanol Elementor. And Edit with Elementor is now an option, which it was not before. I need to edit. So I need to edit it. And the reason why I need to edit it is I need to change this page attribute from default template to Elementor full width. If you don't do that, what you'll end up with is this weird thing where, like, just let me show you this really quick. I'll update this one. And then I'll make you a duplicate of this tab. And we'll go back. And I'll show you the difference between the Espanol page and the regular home page. So I'm going to edit with Elementor on that one and do the same here. So I've got the Espanol page open on this tab, and on this tab I've got the regular home page open. So see how this says home right here? Like if I was to view this in the regular view mode. Right now, of course, there's no nav setup. So it's just printing the content that I set up when I originally set up the site, which is this Men's Roundup Christian Conference thing. But see this home thing right here? This home thing will not leave this space until I tell it to. And I tell it to by changing the type of page. So see there's no home, or in this case Espanol printed here. That's because this is an Elementor full width page. So for instance, let's do this. Let's edit with Elementor on both of these pages. I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm going to show you just because I want you to understand how this works. So I'm going to copy this element here. I'm going to paste it right here. So it copies everything that was in there. I'm going to update this one. And then view the page. And then do the same thing here. View the page. So you can exactly see what I'm talking about. So see right here where it's got the Men's Roundup thing, and then right here it says home. And on this page, no home. And that's because I added that attribute. So I'm going to edit the page, which is going to take me out of Elementor and just to the main editing screen. And this home is being printed because it's the default template. So I'm going to turn that off by saying Elementor full width and update. Now there is an Elementor canvas in there, and I have not used that because it seems to still want to print this. I don't know why you'd ever want to print that because it looks bad. So I always use Elementor full width. So there you go. That's my 2 cents worth. So I'm not really going to edit this page yet, so I'm going to just back out of there. But those are the 2 pages. I don't have any other pages. There's literally 2 pages, and these are all what is called an anchor tag, which takes you to these individual sections on the page. So I am going to basically replicate this page with all of the various sections so that we have everything that we have on the current page on here. Okay, so one more thing I did want to show you guys is in settings, one of the things you need to do to make it easier to find your pages, and so that they don't have a page ID like $page_ID equals 28, and instead say vision and values of Roundup, which is a much easier domain URL to find, is to go into permalinks in settings here. So just a second, that'll come up. So plain shows your URL / P equals 123. That's how it shows up. Another way I often see, and people, I don't personally like this, but it's what I often see, is / the date, like the year, day, date, and sample post being the name of the post. That's another way to do it. So that's day and name, and then month and name. Numeric, so like an archives 123, and then the post name. So the post name is a much better way to do it. So it's going to be like your URL / whatever the name of the page is. And so that's a much better way to do it. So we're going to do it that way. I'm going to save that. So TranslatePress might be a good solution. Maybe I'll just type in translate here and see stuff. Translate. See what I see here. There's Loco Translate with 1+ million active installs. That sounds pretty good. TranslatePress, 100,000+ active installs. Last updated 2 weeks ago, last updated 5 days ago. Okay, so I'm at this Translate page, TranslatePress, and so where some of these actually do a translation in a, they basically use an app and kind of like use like a Google Translate type thing, like a pull down. You guys have all seen this on websites where there'll be either like a graphic icon that's got like a US flag and then the next flag is a Mexican flag and you click on it and it changes the whole site to Spanish. I don't want to do that because, as my translator guy has said, it breaks. It doesn't work. Like, it kind of breaks the tense and the way translation is actually done properly by a person that really speaks the language and understands how to the sentence structure in different languages and things like that. So the way this one does, TranslatePress actually has an English and a Spanish like field. And so when you actually click the button, it literally reveals, it goes from English to the other one. So I actually really like this, and this is going to work perfectly for me because I know my guy is not going to be jazzed on the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and install this. Translate your entire site from the front end to go multilingual. Install. If this happens, if this works, and I'm going to try this on a small page. If this works, I am going to change this to a multi-page site. So you're going to see this. You're going to see this on hand. Okay, so I've activated it. All right, so we are going to try this new language thing, because if I can do a multi-page site, I am going to be way, way, way thrilled, because I would rather. So I am going to create a new page that's going to be called Vision and Values, and try to do the language thing. This is the very first time I'm doing this, so we'll see if this works. Vision, I can type, and values. So vision and values, we're going to use Elementor full width because that's what all of the other templates are doing. I'm going to publish it. And then as soon as it's done publishing, we're going to edit with Elementor, and that's going to make it, that's going to turn it into an Elementor page. So let's do that. Just a second. So this is going to be a vision and values page. So it's literally going to just duplicate this part right here. So we're going to add a, this is real simple stuff. So we're just going to add a header here. Oops, excuse me. I got to create a structure. So here's my structure. It's one up right now. And then we're going to add a, so when you're in here, you can click on this plus, and that'll bring you into this text editor. And I'm going to add a header. And this header, boy, I really need to style this sucker. I haven't done that yet. So an H1, I'm going to call it, H1 is your biggest header. It's like the whole point of the page. And generally it is going to say here something to the effect of what it says up here. So I've titled it Vision and Values, so this needs to say Vision and Values. And values of Men's Roundup. So we're going to say, or maybe I'll just say Roundup instead of Men's Roundup. We all know it's men's. So we're going to say Vision and Values of Roundup. And then we're going to add another piece to this. So we're going to add another element. So we're going to do text editor. I'm going to add it into that same section. And the text is going to just be a copy from this. Oops, I don't want the whole thing. Actually, I kind of do, now that I think about it. Let's pull that out of there. Let's leave it there for now. We'll duplicate this. We'll go there. We're going to add another header here. But this time it's going to be an H2. I'm going to have to go in and style all this later. And I'll show you how to do that. But for now, our vision. And text. Actually, delete that because I don't want it. I'm going to add some padding here so it's not all tied up like that. This is going to change to all that copy. And then I'm going to have another one of these. I'm going to copy it. Paste it right here. And this is going to be our values. And then I'm going to copy this right here. Badink. And this is actually not going to be this type, because there's actually a really cool plugin for number, what is it? List? Icon list? So we're going to do an icon list here. So we're going to kill off these. And the icon is going to be, and it pulls all the font awesome icons. You can just say all types, or you can have just the regular or just the solid. But I just like to go with all. So we're going to say number, or maybe I'll just use, yeah, I don't know. These aren't really numbered. I don't need them to be numbered. Let's just do square. Let's use a square. And we're going to use the rounded corner version because I like that one better. So we're going to do the square. List item number 1 is going to be this right here. I'm going to copy this right here. We value men in their biblical roles and such. Paste. And then I'm going to do another one. And the way you do another one is you just hit this copy button right here. And it keeps the same stuff as the one above. Then you can just copy that and paste. And then I'm going to make another one. Close that. And by the way, you can make links out of these. You can change the colors. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, but I'm not going to do that right now because, like I said, I'm going to go back and style this later and show you how to do all the styling. Just not going to do it right now. So that, paste that. Then we're going to make another one. For real. I know I hit it about 6 times. Probably gonna get like 5 of them in a second. There we go. And then let's do number 4. Copy, paste, and number 5. And we're gonna do this one right here. Copy and paste. So there is all of our values. And I don't like how wide this is, so we're gonna look at this container here, and look at the styling of this container. So the content width, that's gonna have to do with the actual total styling of the whole page. But for now, we're just gonna update that. This is the vision and values of roundup, and again, I don't have the right padding, the fonts, none of that's been styled. It's all completely default for Hello Elementors, but for now, that's a good start. So let's see about how we do this multilingual stuff. So then to start translating, you go back to the dashboard, head on over to the pages, all pages, then click on view under the page you just created. Once the page loads, you can click translate page from the top admin bar. So let's see how that works. So maybe we go back out of here, all the way out, view page, top, there's translate page, settings. Or maybe I just need to click, I just need to click translate page. So TranslatePress. So then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to Espanol, and I'm going to scroll down to the vision and values section, which is right here. And so we're going to select the string that's listed here to translate. So vision and values. In Espanol de Mexico is going to be this. Vision. Paste it. Wish it wasn't all caps. That's maybe a problem. We'll figure it out. And then this, hopefully it's not going to make me do line by line. That's going to be wackadoodle. So save translation. We envision. So our vision, maybe I did that wrong, oops. I think, save, I did do that wrong, I'm pretty sure. Because vision and values of roundup is not that. So I'll have to get a translation from him. So I'm going to leave that alone. Save that. Let's just see how this works just the same. So then we got our vision, we already did. Then we vision this part, and we're going to change it to this part right here. So there's the Espanol. I'm going to save it. Then we've got our values, and that changes to valores. That, save. And then we've got we value men in their biblical roles. And that changes to this. Copy. Paste. Save. We shall go out of here back to whence we came. So then we change it. Oh, something's brokey. Oh. Let's try this again. Let me just hit refresh. Maybe it's just having a fit. I wonder why we're getting a 404. That makes no sense. Oh, you know why? Because it's not active. Because the site's not active right now. But I do like this. That's pretty slick. I think this is going to work. I do need to see it actually live, though. This is a bit of a problem. Like, if I can't view it, then I am not super confident. I wonder why it's not working. I basically had to activate the page in order for the translation feature to work. But now it does. So this is the little pull down here. So we got English and we got Espanol. And you click the button. And it changes automatically. And it pulls down everything I typed in, which is really awesome. So this changes the whole thing on this page. So I'm going to change the whole design of this site now. And it's going to work a lot better. So I'm very excited about this. And so maybe some of my previous stuff I'm not going to do as I showed, but anyway, that is pretty cool. So that being said, I'm going to go back to all pages. I'm going to get back here and go ahead and delete this page. And trash Espanol, since we're not going to be doing that anymore. So we're going to have a home page, which is going to be a little bit like a landing page. We're going to just have a little bit of info on it. And just the stuff like for this year's Roundup. So what I'm doing right now is building out the sitemap for Roundup's site. So I've already created several pages. So it's going to be this year's event. I don't know if that's going to work with an apostrophe. It's probably not going to work. We're going to do this. Event details. Let's do event details. Full width. Edit with Elementor. Apostrophes and commas and lots of different things don't work well with the web and with PCs, and pretty much anything you see. I've got an apostrophe in there. That's not really optimal, but I'm going to change that anyway, so it's fine. So we've got that. We've got our details. I'm going to stick with it for now. So that is our whole setup. So then the next thing is to go into menus, and I do this because it helps me to understand how the structure is set up. So let's go ahead and select all and add them to a menu. So this is, the menu 1 is the default menu name. I only have one menu, so it's going to work fine. Okay, I did not want to show you guys the whole process of doing this because I was stressing about it and thinking about it a lot. So here's what I did. when you create a new menu, I'll just pretend for a second that I'm going to create a new menu so you can see how this works. So when you create a new menu, we'll just call this 2. I'll end up deleting it, so it's fine. When you create a new menu, it gives you the option to basically add items. So let's say we add these several items here. We'll just add all these items. Okay. Once they are added to this menu here, they will kind of throw themselves in a list, and then you want to order the list. So what's going to happen with this list, it's going to order it in such a way that it's going to put whatever you put on top on the left and whatever you put on the bottom on the right. That's how it orders. And so I want home to be first. And the only reason I'm even using a home button in this case is because of the fact that we have some really old people at this event, and I want to make sure I don't alienate anybody that doesn't know how the web works. I still may take it off, but at this point I'm going to leave it on for now. So the event details is where we're going to put pricing and details. So you want a sub-menu, something that's part of this, then you just kind of drag it to the right and you can see how it kind of snaps to that little thing, and now it says sub-item. So FAQ is not a sub-item, that has to do with the entire website. So we're going to leave it right there. But the location also doesn't have to do with the specific event, it has more to do with the whole website. So tents and RVs though do, and I'm kind of putting them in the same order that I had before. So we got home, we got vision and values. That's actually also part of the main thing, so I'm going to leave that right there. Then we've got pricing and details. Then we've got cabins and yurts. Oh, I guess I missed that one. Cabins and yurts, we'll add that in. So cabins and yurts, they go right there. And then FAQs in the middle of tents and RVs, which doesn't make sense. So I'm going to put tents and RVs next. And then I'm going to do things to do with at Roundup. So it's going to go right there underneath event details. Then I've got FAQ, and then I've got location. Now I'm not going to do reviews again because this reviews thing is really short. There's not a lot here. I literally just pulled a few reviews off of Facebook. We have a very, very large Facebook following for this event, so I don't need to... We don't have like a reviews widget or something where we have like 500 reviews in it, and really we're going to just send people to, if they want to read more reviews, they can go to Facebook or, I don't know, talk to their friends that have been to the event or something. So yeah, that's how you set up a menu. So if you wanted another sub-menu, you could go like that. So this would be a sub-item of pricing and details, but just for the record, and from a UI standpoint, you really never want to have more than one level deep. Once you go to multiple levels deep, it gets very hard to navigate, especially on like a mobile device or something, because it ends up making the navigation menu super long, and it gets frustrating. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this menu because I don't really want it because I already created one. I just wanted to show you how to do it so that you knew how to do it. So this is exactly the same as the other menu, although actually I have vision and values down here, which I think maybe might be the right choice because really they're coming here to see all about the event. So it's home, event details, and then vision and values, FAQ, and location. And I'm going to put the reviews on the home page, so I'm not going to have the reviews somewhere else. So we've got that. So how do you add a menu to your site? Well, first off, you can go to Visit Site up here, and once you're in this section, you've got this top page area here, and it says Customize right here. So you click Customize, and that takes you into this is actually a part of actual WordPress. So this is where you're setting the site identity, subhead, the logo, and all that kind of stuff. So Men's Roundup with an apostrophe is probably not the best choice. So I'm going to call this Roundup. Maybe I'll call it Men's Roundup. I don't know. How is it set up over here? Yeah, with no apostrophe. So that's what I want. Oh, and then this is, so let's look at this. View page source. So this is what I had before. Of course, this is Wix, so it's a total mess with a mass amount of ridiculous code. let's do this. Title. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Men's Roundup, Believe, Obey, Connect, and Lead. That's the actual title. So we're going to have that be this. Men's Roundup, Believe, Obey, Connect, and Lead. And then see this site icon? That's this little doohickey right up here. Well, in here it says site icon should be square and at least 512 by 512 pixels. So we're going to go ahead and open up Photoshop here. And since it says it should be at least 512 by 512, or I think that means, oh, at least. Wow, that's really big. You don't want anything bigger than 512 by 512. At least means that's the maximum I'm going to use, because you don't need more than that. And the bigger your images are, the slower the site is. So you want the fastest possible response on your website. So you do not want to have images that are mega sized. Might have this be just the thing and not have this thing, and then fill it with red. That might be better. I think that's better because of how small it is. Let's do that. It looks like it's a little off center. Bring it down just a skosh. Okay, let's try that again. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. And it's really big. Why is it so big? 2.63K. Sold. Cash money. Save. Replace. And so change image. So I'm gonna just add it in here. Let's do that. Let's remove it. Select, upload, coming from the same place. So you can just copy this stuff, copy, paste, paste, and we can delete this. Also delete lady here. So we're not going to use her. That's a lot better. You can see it and everything. It's like a miracle. So I think we're going to go with that. And then for the logo, that's going to go up in the nav here. And so for nav items, what I like to do is something that's about twice as high as what we're going to actually use. So if we're going to do something that's, say, 360 by 100 or so, or by 110, like if that's our size, then we're going to go 720 by 240. And 72 DPI, because that's screen resolution. Open that up in Illustrator. Copy. And into Photoshop, paste. Smart object, that way it retains all its quality. You never want to scale, you don't want to be scaling imagery that isn't properly set up. So this is a real wide image, as you can see. So I'm going to actually go ahead and continue scaling it, and then I'm just going to resize the background to fit. Hitting C to allow me to scale this up. I go a little past, and it's coloring the background with whatever I have selected in colors here, but I'm not going to use a background, so it's not a problem. So I'm just going to hide it. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control-Alt-Shift-S, save for web. I'm not going to use a PNG 8 this time because of the obvious reasons. I'm going to use a PNG 24. That's going to give me all the detail and a transparent background. Good fidelity. And its width is 1196 by 240, which is fine. It's only 16K, so it's very reasonable sized. So this is going to be RU logo, horizontal, I guess, just so that I know what it is by looking at the file size or file name. And then I'm going to select the logo, upload the file. It's going to go straight to the same folder. Say OK. Roundup logo. Roundup logo. Select. Skip cropping. Publish. So now I've got a logo. And soon I will have a menu as well. So menu 1. View location, menu 1. So now it's bumping because it's so wide. So I'm gonna have to adjust that. I'm gonna have to adjust the type and everything up here so that it doesn't bump, because it's bumping. This logo is so wide that it's bumping the navigation down. Because if the container was wider, then it wouldn't do that. So that is something I will resolve. I can go ahead and publish it though. And then go back, homepage settings. So we're going to use not my latest post, but a static page. We're going to use home as the home page. We won't have a post page on this site because it's not the kind of site we're rolling. So when it does that, obviously it pulls that home page that I started working on there with the hero image. Note that the hero image has no image because I deleted that lady, because I know I'm not going to use her anyway, so it's a non-issue. And then additional CSS can be entered here. All right, so if you got this far in this recording, congratulations. And there's a whole lot more where this came from, because I did this entire site. So if you want to learn how to build a site and see every step of what I did, then you just need to watch the next couple videos and you're going to see it all. If you don't, then obviously you've got other things to do, and that's fine. But if you are trying to learn how to build a site and you really want somebody to help you, then you can reach out to me on my private Facebook group. The link is in the description below, and I will be happy to point you to resources or help you if I can. Thank you so much for watching. This is Eric at Learn Design with Eric.